Little Thin Lizzy for everybody.
That's right.
Nothing like that. How are you, Andy?
If that chick don't want to know, forget her.
You're a huge Thin Lizzy fan. 9 people in America right now going, yeah! I understand what he said. Yeah. Did you have a good break, Max? You had a good one?
Had a real nice time, Conan.
I felt bad because I said to Max over in the monologue area, Max, how are you doing? And he wants to say how he's doing and how his vacation was, but he's obliged to start beating the drums. Yeah, and you can see he's torn. He's like, well, I had a good time. And then he starts playing.
That's right.
And
well, you can't stop the rock.
Can't stop the rock.
You gotta rock.
You gotta rock.
Yeah.
That's tattooed on Max's chest. You gotta rock.
Yeah.
And you had a good break?
I had a wonderful time. We rented a car and just drove around and, you know...
By we, you mean you and Max?
Yes, me and Max. That's right.
Nice.
They spend all their spare time together.
It wasn't really a car. It was a bicycle built for 2. And
no, you and your wife, you drove around.
We just drove around and visited truck stops. And
you know what? They're laughing because they think you're making a joke.
I know.
That's what Andy did.
I came back with so much crap for people. The most amazing...
That mug you got me is really great.
Yes,
you got me, what does it say on it?
A mug that says, I want the perfect secretary, one that types fast and runs slow.
And of course, he gives this to me on the day that I have a new assistant.
Yes, a new assistant.
Who is completely creeped out, and is already filing a sexual harassment charge against me.
You act like that was accidental.
I know. Well, you had a good time. I don't know if you... I don't know if over break, because it's not that you were on the road, you were pretty busy, if you saw the second of the presidential debates that they had between Dole and Clinton. Did you see it?
I caught the rerun of it, you know, like the cable rerun of it.
Okay, you caught a little bit of it, because there's one thing, they had the second debate, and it looks like they're done with the debates now, but there's one moment from the first debate that nobody ever talked about, no one ever seems to have mentioned since it happened, and I personally still can't quite get over this moment. I'm talking about the very last thing Dole said in his closing remarks in the first debate. He looked at the camera, it was the last thing he said, and he told young people they should check out his homepage on the internet. They're laughing like, how does Conan think of this stuff? Can we see that? Let's see that right now.
If you really want to get involved, just tap into my homepage, www.dolecamp96.org. Thank you. God bless America.
It really happened.
Very strange.
Yeah. It was weird, wasn't it?
And his delivery seemed sad.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, but I thought it was strange, and it just seemed really forced for him to be mentioning the web.
Yeah, well,
you know what I mean?
It was a pretty transparent attempt to make him seem hip and with it, you know, I guess to young voters, which he was trying to attract. Right. And it's been a while since that debate, and since he mentioned it, and no one's really talked about it. I thought the next day everyone would be talking about it. I never heard a thing about it. Nobody's really said anything about the website, and since that time I've thought, wouldn't it be great if somebody, and I think it should be us, because we got time to kill, visited the Dole website and checked it out. Don't you think someone should do that? They seem to want
it. I wasn't going to say anything about that huge computer sitting on your desk. But
this is for booking flights for the guests.
Okay.
Molly Ringwald, very nice to have you. And let's see, would you prefer an aisle seat headed back to L.A.? Very good. No, we have this big computer here, and it's all set up and it's ready to go.
Excellent.
And I thought we should do this right now. And I guess the first thing I should do is type in Dole's homepage address. Let's see, I believe it was www.dolecamp96.org. That really trips off the tongue nicely, doesn't it? All right, there we go. And now I guess I just press enter.
Yep.
Yeah. Guess it takes a few seconds to find out. This will be interesting.
Yeah.
See how he's trying to appeal to the young people. Oh, there you go. Wow. Look at that. Welcome to Dole's super rad cyber world.
Youngsters, are you ready to surf the net with Dole?
Well, I think speaking for two youngsters.
I definitely am ready to surf the net
I love
with
that.
Dole.
All right, well, it looks like we have 2 different links we can go to from this page. It says, click here for latest candid campaign photo. And then over here on the right, click here to visit Dole's latte bar. he is really going low.
He's pandering.
All right.
I want to see the photos.
You want to see the campaign photo? All right, I'll go
Yeah.
over here and I'll click to that one. Here we go. Click.
No.
Oh, look! Hey! Man! The man in action! Look at that! Look at that, Andy. He's actually snowboarding.
Dole shreds the half pipe.
Yes, he's got the lingo down.
Look, he even has his pen.
Up there. Clutching it there. It gives him a better edge.
Yes,
you know?
right.
Flicks the pen.
He
can
gets
cut
to the
right.
end of the hill
There
and
you
signs
go.
some legislation.
Now, on the left, it says, click here to hear Dole's thought of the day.
Yeah.
I want to hear his thought of the day. Let's.
2-back score. You will be greatly missed. Peace, my brother.
That just doesn't, I mean, that's a nice sentiment, but it just didn't seem like Dole to me.
I think that he's a man of many surprises.
Yeah, I guess so. All right, let's go to where it says, click here to order official Dole 96 merchandise. Let's see what he's got to appeal to the kids here. Let's see here.
No.
Oh, great. Oh, great. Bob Dole's hempware. That's nice. Made from 100% pure hemp. I mean, he's going to get so many young voters with that.
Know.
Yeah.
And excellent shins.
Yeah, look at that.
Dole.
He's got incredible calves. Look at
Yeah.
that. All right.
Let's see some more of his merchandise there on the
You want to see
right.
more in the
click.
merchandise? All right,
Yeah,
click
right
to
there.
see more merchandise.
No.
I will never get tired of that. Oh, man. Bob Dole's home body piercing kit. Andy, look at that. He's got a, it looks like a stud in his,
It actually looks kind of like a push pin.
well,
from
he was in a
bulletin
hurry,
board.
probably.
Probably.
Look at that. That's incredible.
You know, it's pretty reasonable, too, 100 camel bucks. I think we should order one.
Well, we'll do that later, maybe.
All right,
We don't want to
okay.
encourage the children of America. Let's see, on the right, let's go over there. Click over to see Dole's hot list. I want to know what Dole's hot list is. Let's check that
Who
out.
doesn't?
Yeah.
No.
Oh. All right, today's hot list. Dole rates the girls of Friends. I want to know what he thinks of the girls of Friends. Let's see. Dole's rating. Lisa Kudrow gets my bowels rumbling. All right. Courtney Cox, a real de-shriveler. And Jennifer Aniston, semi-wood. That's Dole's highest rating. I'd kill to have semi-wood.
You said a little too much.
I'm just under so much pressure.
I understand.
All right.
Well,
Let's, man, God. All right, let's move on to the next link. I think it's time. Now, we can click on the top to see Dole's vegetarian recipes, but I don't know.
No.
Or on the bottom to visit Dole's psychedelic prostate. Wait a minute.
What the hell is that?
I don't know, Andy, but if there's one thing I do know, it's that we have to find out what Dole's psychedelic prostate is. Let's click in.
No.
All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, man. What does that do for you, Andy? Andy!
Has it been 5 seconds or 5 years?
You're on a higher plane. All right, enough of that. That's pretty cool, though. Let's click on, and let's see. So we have a choice here, Andy. We can read Dole's interview with Flea of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, if we want. Mm-hmm. Or on the right, we can enter Dole's live chat room.
Chat room.
Chat room.
Those
That's
are
the way
fun.
to go. All right, let's do it.
No.
Here we go. I guess we're in the Dole chat room. I guess I should type something. Here we go. So great. I didn't think, is anyone here? I typed that. Is anyone here? Yes, it's me, Dole. My God, Andy, it's Bob Dole.
We're actually on with... Wow.
This is incredible. All right, well, let's get into it. How are you? Lonely. Lonely Dole. That's so sad. He's lonely. Well, what do you think I should
Sad.
say?
Use one of those dorky smile or
Frowny faces. I know. Well, what do you think I had to do?
Ask him how the election's going?
Yeah, I'll ask him how the election's going. That's a good idea. How's your campaign going? Losing by huge margins. Sad, sad, pathetic Dole. I don't know. This is really bumming me out.
I'm not having fun anymore.
No, I think we should go. I'm just going to say goodbye. Let's see. Goodbye. No, please don't leave. It's almost 1 a.m. This time of night is always the loneliest for Dole. Man, I got it. He is really depressed, Andy. You got to help me out. I should try to cheer him up, but what do I say?
Tell him he's got a nice website. I mean...
That's a good idea. That's something he's actually got going for him.
Yeah.
Good idea. All right. You have a great website. At least you're ahead of Clinton on the internet. Say, you're right. Dole feels better. Hey!
Oh, that's great.
That's nice.
That's excellent.
Don't you feel better?
I feel
I
great.
feel better. We're cheering him up. We're cheering him up. That's
Look.
Huh?
What is that?
Oh my God! What's going on? What is that? What does that mean? What is that? Andy, what's going on?
This website has been destroyed by the Clinton Gore computer mecha virus. All files have been erased.
Wait a minute.
No.
Andy, listen.
No.
Oh my God! I gotta turn that off. That's so creepy. What? Yeah, I unplugged it.
No.
Creepy.
Let's get out of here. All right, that was probably not a good idea.
Yeah.
We'll take a little break, folks. When we come back, we'll all be cheered up. Molly Ringwald's with us. Great show tonight. Stick around for the whole thing. I can't seem to...
1993, NBC surprised many by giving unknown comic and writer Conan O'Brien the daunting task of succeeding David Letterman as host of NBC's Late Night. The former Harvard Lampoon president, 2 years, and writer for Saturday Night Live and The Simpsons, is approaching his 3rd year. Finding his own comedic voice, O'Brien has defied early critics by outlasting most of the crowded late-night field, and we are very pleased to have him back on this program 2.5 years after he began his tenure there at NBC. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me, Joe.
It is great to have you. Let me just take note of what was just handed to me. This is a whole series of year-end reviews of television programs. Nobody was tougher on you than Tom Shales.
That's right, at the beginning. That's right.
In the beginning. When Tom Shales is on your case, I mean, it can be painful.
Yeah.
Here is what he says about 25 reasons to watch television in 1996. Number 10, Conan O'Brien, who has gone from being a joke to being truly funny. One of the great examples of self-makeover in television history. He's wry and winning and worth another look. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How did you do it? What's happened?
I
What's
paid him a great deal of money. That cost me $850,000.
That's right. Plus the car.
Yeah, the car. Yeah. Ford Taurus.
Yeah, he loved it, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Now, but you have, I mean, most people, this is not just Tom Shales, there's a consensus. I remember you and I had a conversation at the beginning, and you were looking ahead saying, look, all I can do is be myself.
Yeah.
You know, and either they'll like me or they'll not like me, and I'll grow into the job, or else I'll be out doing something else.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is that there really isn't much you can do. You know, when I started out, I thought, I got one shot at this thing. If it doesn't work and I'm off the air in 3 months or 3 weeks, which a lot of people said would happen, I could become a synonym for humorless, bad failure. And, you know, they might actually put it in the dictionary. Or you pulled a Conan there. You know?
Exactly.
And
You were off the air in 3 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. So I remember thinking, I got one shot at this. If that happens, the greatest hell I could think of would be to have not done it my way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To have tried to do it, to have tried to be David Letterman, or tried to be Jay Leno, or tried to be Jack Parr, or be Johnny Carson. Try and do it someone else's way. And if it didn't work, I would have spent the rest of my life working at the Gap, you know, and thinking to myself, where I still have a job waiting.
I know.
It's still there.
Banana Republic pays better. You better check
They
it.
do, yeah, but the corduroys are flimsy.
I know.
It's not the good
The
material.
allowances at the Gap are much nicer.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I thought the greatest hell would be to spend the rest of my life thinking, what if I had just tried to be the Conan O'Brien that actually got me this far?
Yeah.
You know, that it seems to have worked so far, and be honest about it. So I did, and you make mistakes. I made plenty of mistakes on the air. I learned on the air, and I think that was sort of what was nice is that first 3 months, I think a lot of people tuned in, or actually the first couple of weeks, people tuned in the way people watch a car accident, or watch Evel Knievel try and jump over 60 buses. They tune in because they might see someone ripped apart, and there's sort of a perverse thrill to that. And I think what's nice is now it's become a show and has a following, and people watch for that reason, and the whole kind of circus stunt aspect to it. Hey, they found some idiot to replace Letterman. Watch this.
No,
You know, everyone's looking. Yeah.
How bad can you be?
Yeah,
Watch
exactly.
this.
You got to see this guy. He's going to get his head taken off. Oh, man.
How is it different, though, for you? I mean, you walk out there every night at 5:30 when you tape the show. How is it different today than it was 2 years ago for you?
The biggest, I think, difference now is, you know, it's not just me. I mean, I'm probably the biggest change is that
You're comfortable.
I'm comfortable. I know what I'm doing. I'm playing. I'm not. Do you know what I'm not working out there. I'm actually. You know, actors call it being in the moment. I deal with things honestly. I'm enjoying myself. If something goes wrong, I enjoy that. I let people know that something went wrong. I'm not trying to be a talk show host. I'm just Conan O'Brien doing my show, and I feel just the confidence of, you know, the people know who I am. A lot of the people in the audience are fans. They know the show, so there's actually, you just feel more centered, and I think it's the whole show. I know who I am. My sidekick Andy Richter knows who he is. We have the band. Max Weinberg. We know what we've got. We like it. We think it's good. We always think it can get better. But that confidence that you only get with doing 530 shows that we've done now, you know, 530 hours of TV, you better start to know what you're doing or something's wrong.
I guess you must know this, or somebody from that crack NBC research staff has told you this. Is it the Letterman audience you have, or is it a new audience that you created at 12:30?
It's funny. I really think people always assume that there are researchers out there that know what's going on. The way that Americans have this belief that there are people out there who know what really happened in the JFK assassination, or, you know, I mean, there are people out there really know. And I think what I've always believed.
Oliver Stone.
Oliver
knows.
Stone
Oliver
knows. Yeah, he does. It was 45 guys with 45 rifles,
some from Cuba,
firing
some
for a
from the
solid
mafia,
for a solid hour.
Some from the CIA.
But I don't believe, you know, the more time that I've been in show business now, or I've been in comedy since I was 18. I've been writing comedy, and I've been in show business since I was 22. I'm 32 now, so it's 10 years, and I've been around a bit, and I've concluded that no one really knows anything. They really don't, you know? No one really knows anything, and I don't believe there's research, but no one ever, you know, it's not that reliable, and we don't really know who our audience is. We always suspected just from general feedback, and because the advertisers that buy into it who actually do their own research, a lot of young people watch it, college-age people like what we're doing, and our demos, if that's a reliable number, you know, show that more and more we've gotten the baby boomers have accepted the show and tuned into it. Beyond that, you don't know. You know, I don't know, is it, I think a lot of David Letterman's audience went to watch David Letterman
at 11:30
at 11:30 on CBS, and you know, and the people watching Jay have been watching Jay for years, and maybe, you know, watched Johnny before. So I don't know exactly who's watching us.
How much pressure is there? How much pressure at the time in which people were saying they're giving him 13-week cycles, and the jury is out as whether he's made it or not?
Exactly.
Did you feel that? I mean, did you go home every night saying,
Well, I believe that denial is a powerful
It's a
tool,
powerful
Charlie.
tool.
People's denial and ignorance.
Or the notion that nobody knows nothing. I mean,
Yeah,
what do they know?
exactly. You know,
If you're
it's
so smart, you try to do it.
It's funny because at the end of the day, the thing that kept me going was, you know, probably a misguided belief or whatever. I just loved doing this, and even in the hardest times, I enjoyed doing this. I have an appetite for it, and I always wanted, even when we did a terrible show and everything went wrong, and I felt, you know, terrible. I always wanted to go and do one the next night to get it back. And of course, that's actually what you need. And who can explain that? You can't really, you know, if you really wanted to psychoanalyze, you'd say, oh, Conan was a middle child. He needs acceptance. This is all very sad. You know what I mean? There had only been 3 children in his family instead of 6. He would have given up after a couple
that's
of
what
weeks.
Oliver would have said. He was a middle child. He needed acceptance, and he was driven by that.
Yeah, and that's at the end of the day, what I've always had and still have an appetite for it, meaning we can have 4 good shows in a row where a lot of things work. There was something about it that I didn't quite like. I always think maybe tomorrow we can do a little better. If we had a great one, and I don't know what that is.
It's the great thing. Forrest Whitaker was on your show.
That's right.
This evening, and he was on my program as well. He worked on a movie that's enormously exciting and successful, Waiting to Exhale. 2 years out of his life. And he finds out now that it's a big success. You know, he's obviously a talented actor who's had other things to do. Every night you get out there and you get another shot at that audience.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
and there is something that people don't take into account. You know, people read about Jay Leno, and they, you know, and he does 5, you know, and he's doing well, and he's doing his 5 shows a week, whatever, and sometimes they hear about, oh, he's getting this much money, or Dave's getting that much money. And sometimes I think people think to themselves, well, when is it enough? You know, I mean, you've got a lot of, you know, these men are obviously very wealthy. They've obviously made it.
That's what I thought when I wrote Leno. I see you're getting $14 million a year.
Exactly.
When is it enough?
Yeah, exactly. You know, what is it you're looking for? And, you know, you've had so many years of big success, and you've got all this money, and how are you ever going to top what you've done now? When is it enough? I think the simple answer is there's something addictive about it. It's like anything, it's like a lot of things, actually. One of these shows has so many variables in it and so many components in it, you can't master all of them on any given night. And so that's what, you know, if you're the kind of personality that probably wants to master something, wants to do it, has, you know, it's like keeping 14 plates spinning in the air, and you're never going to be able to do it all 14 every night. You know, there's a monologue, there's interviewing guests, there's comedy you present, there's music, there's a lot of different aspects to the job. How are you going to do them all well, you know, perfectly well every night? You're not. And if you ever do, that's going to be such a high. You're going to want to go back the next night, do it. That night, everything's messed up, you know, and it just feeds on itself.
Did you say, you were editor of the Harvard Lampoon 2 years in a row. Has anybody been editor 2 years in a row?
I never researched it that much. I didn't want to. I always wanted to say, no, actually, to my knowledge.
I was the only one ever.
I was afraid that if I looked it up.
Theodore Roosevelt, maybe in 1912.
That's right. That's right. When, let's see. The magazine was founded in 1876. I think it's the oldest humor magazine in America, and I think it's the oldest in the world, second only to Punch. You know, and so going back to 1876, I'm not sure. I think I was the only person who edited it twice. There might have been someone else. You know, I think, you know, in like 1922 or something, or maybe during one of the wars when there was a shortage of funny people. They were all out killing each other. So I'm not really sure. I didn't want to look it up. But
is there some point that you said that I mean, is this the dream that you thought about there when there was an interview or something, maybe with the Crimson, in which you said, what I want is the Conan O'Brien show to be seen? That's right. Well, they asked me in an interview I did. I was a senior in college, and it was 1985, and they did a profile on me in the Harvard Crimson, which is the school newspaper, and the article ended saying, what do you want to be doing 10 years from now? And I said, I want my own television show and my own line of designer jeans was what I wanted, and I got the show, actually. And how are the designer jeans doing?
They're coming out in the fall, next fall.
Conan.
They're great. They really hug the ass nicely, and I hope I can say that on the show.
You can't say that on the. I mean, Conan fits or something like that.
They're very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Conan fit. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll look for those.
But-
Why do you think Leno has done what he's been able to do? I mean, you know that game.
Yeah.
I mean, he's your lead-in, so you're
Yeah.
pleased about it.
Yes. Yeah. It's great for me that Jay's doing well. There's
What
also
happened, you think?
I think Jay, as tough a job as I had taking over the Letterman slot,
His
I
was
think
tougher.
Jay's was much tougher because Dave left NBC but went to CBS, so people could still watch David Letterman and enjoy him. There wasn't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whereas Johnny Carson, who'd been on the air for 30 years and is
Still
the
king,
prototype.
right.
He is the prototype. He's the, that everyone's always going to compare what people like me or Jay or Dave or whoever comes. People are always going to say, compare us to Carson. Jay took over that slot, and Johnny was gone. In a way, I think Jay had to compete with Johnny's ghost. You see what I'm saying? Johnny was gone and removed himself from the scene. That was an incredible. He had to do it in the same studio. I think there was only a weekend or maybe a 3-day weekend's difference. What Jay had to do was very, very difficult, and I think so I think he deserves all the credit in the world. There's also,
And it didn't work for him until he crafted a show that was more reflective of who he is.
Yeah, he made
put
the show
himself down there closer to the stand-up, was much closer to the audience.
Yeah.
And all that.
He completely. First of all, they moved the studio. It's a different studio. They reconfigured it. It's better for Jay, and he made the show more his own. And the whole show was reconfigured around what Jay wants, and that's how these shows are successful. And you also can't underestimate nobody, I don't think, is more determined or works harder than Jay Leno. I mean, you know what I mean? I look at the guy and I think, I don't know if I could ever do that, I'm probably going to want to move my show later and later. That's my goal. I'm the only guy on TV who wants
You want to be on at 2:30.
I want the 3 a.m. slot. And I look at what Jay Leno does, and it's almost it's superhuman almost what he does. He's very tenacious and wants to have the best late night show, and that's a powerful thing.
NBC has seemingly amply rewarded him for it with the new contract that I read about.
Yeah. They don't tell me the specifics because it would only depress me. They always say, "Oh, he got a new contract." Oh, really? How much is he getting? You don't want to know. But I just didn't have a lot of leverage with NBC when I got this job, so it's very different for me. I had reporters.
It'll be $1 plus benefits. You said, "I'll take it."
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there wasn't. Just picture the negotiating situation NBC was in.
Yes.
All right, Conan O'Brien. How would you like to have the late night slot that David Letterman had? I don't know. I'm not sure.
What's your best offer?
Yeah.
No,
I don't think so. I'm walking. And hey, what's America going to think when Conan O'Brien doesn't get it? You're going to be in a tough spot.
Yeah, that's
so,
because they were looking forward to me.
Yeah, right.
They have never seen me, but they knew I was coming.
People, hey, come on, Charlie, let's face it. People subliminally knew about Conan O'Brien.
They knew.
All through the 70s.
They'd heard. They read the Harvard Crimson.
Sure, hundreds of people read that Harvard Crimson
They
article.
knew you wanted to have your own show, and they were ready.
They were ready for it. So, but I've had actually reporters say to me when I was on the 13-week schedule, and I've had reporters say, "Well, come on, these 13-week deals, what's the deal here? You should demand
better than a 12-week deal."
Yeah, you should demand." And I remember thinking when I first got started, and I was the first job I had in Hollywood, I was on a 3-week cycle.
I'm going to try you for 3
I was on a 3-week cycle where I just, literally, you had to prove myself in 3 weeks, and then I got another 3-week cycle, and so actually the 13 weeks was, it was gravy to me.
It was great.
Yeah, and it's still, I'm still doing exactly.
I never know whether they'll let me do this from week to week. I show up on Monday morning, and they say,
exactly.
Thumbs up.
I hear the audience when just before I go do the warm up for our show, I hear there's an audience there, and I go, "Oh, we're still here." And now
he's going to be here.
Yeah, and I've always had an attitude that this is appropriate for where I am right now. I at the time anyway, I was a rookie player, and I thought you get a different deal than everybody else, and that's fine. I'm lucky to be here. And I'm just hoping that there'll come a day when I can just really screw everybody left and right, become a complete jerk.
Yes.
Throw
that power around.
Yeah, I want to trash a hotel room. That's what I want. I want you to pick up the paper. Conan O'Brien checked into the mark and smashed up the place.
Yes,
and then had an argument with his girlfriend, a model slash actress slash slasher in the street.
17-year-old model.
17-year-old model. Had a big argument with her, and then I was seen getting into a cab and immediately throwing up. I mean, that's I want that to happen.
You want those stories, do you?
Yeah, exactly. And when I get that, I'm ready to exit the scene gracefully. That's when it's time to gracefully exit.
Get out. Thank you for coming. Pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.